Good evening and welcome out everyone to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank. Hope everybody is doing fantastic this evening. Let's see if I can get this rocking and rolling. I think maybe I'll have the chat rocking tonight, it looks like. So that's an improvement from last week, probably a little YouTube lag, but we can live with that. Hope everybody had a fantastic Monday as we continue to inch toward the holidays. I will be taking you through the tackle trading platform here tonight, show you around a little bit, show you where you can find things, talk a little bit about what those things are, so you have a little bit better understanding of how to use it. I always tell people in a lot of ways you can build your own tackle trading, and it's a lot easier if you know what's what and where it is, right? So that will be our game plan here going into this evening. I do like to break it down into thirds for discussion purposes. Basically, things that you can do on your own, courses, blogs, tools within the Trade Center platform, our schedule, our live shows, what are we doing every, Monday through Friday, every Thursday night, that type of stuff. And then our weekend reports that we deliver to our pro members each and every week. So that will kind of be the angle that we come at it here this evening. Usually the one that takes me the longest, and maybe that's just because I'm long-winded, I don't know. So, but maybe that's what it is things that you can do on your own, because I do like to kind of go through the Trade Center and show people some of the different tools that we can use. So let's start there. Let's start with things that you can do on your own. I do have should have my chat up and running, so if you have any questions or anything like that, I should, cross my fingers, be able to see them here this evening. So let's just jump right on into it here. I got a little bit of a lag on the YouTube side, but that is normal and expected. So right now I'm actually in the Trade Center, but before we talk Trade Center, let's talk our courses. We have several courses available to all of our pro members. We also have 4 premium systems that we offer as well. Very quickly, let's just talk about those systems. They're the only thing that won't be granted to you as a pro member. Everything else that we talk about tonight, everything else that you see, is available to all of our pro members. The best way I can kind of think about this, the systems, is it's kind of a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life. Once a month, we get together with that team in a mastermind group and discuss, what's going on, in the markets in relation to that particular system. Tackle 25 is our covered call-based system. I'm really excited. It's just about time. At the beginning of every year, we unveil the Tackle 25. So really excited to see what that looks like here in a few weeks. But it's a select group of stocks put together specifically with selling covered calls in mind. It's really what the plan is behind the Tackle 25, an awesome watch list to sell covered calls. Our step system is our swing trading system, stop, target, entry, and position size, or step, to get those rules going on for the swing trading style of for traders. Cash flow condor is another cash flow system, this time on the Russell 2000, selling credit spreads, specifically iron condors. And of course, the bear market survival guide, kind of exactly what its name kind of sounds like, protecting our portfolio in bearish market conditions, taming that volatility, profiting in those conditions. If you ever want any more information on any of those, because that'll be all we're going to talk about with those products here tonight. But if you ever want any more information on any of them, you can head over into the store. You can send us an email to team@tackletrading.com. You can hop over into the clubhouse and ask, our different team members who use those different systems what they think. I certainly encourage you to ask any questions that you have in regards to that. Beyond that, like I said, everything else will be available to you as a pro member, including several courses. Our 7-step guide to trading course is a short course. It's only about 2 hours long. It will kind of take you through, I always kind of say it kind of takes you through the tackle trading way. Every trader is different, right? But I think at the foundational level, we all kind of start at a place that works, right? Tried and true. And that's really kind of what we're doing here in the 7-step guide to trading, from starting at the top of the markets into choosing our strategies, finding our trades, prepping those trades, of course, placing, managing, and ultimately journaling those trades. Really should be helpful. If you're a new trader, it should be really helpful in getting a routine going for yourself. If you're an experienced trader, you probably aren't going to abruptly change your routine. And I don't think I would ask that of you by any stretch of the imagination. But maybe you can get a couple of ideas to make your routine a little bit better. Who knows? But it's one of those courses. I meet lots of different traders, right? A lot of different skill sets, brand new traders, people have been doing it for a long time and everything in between. And this is one of the courses that I think everybody can get some value out of. I think a new trader gets a little bit of different value than an experienced trader, but I do think there's great value that's available to everybody, of course, here. We also have introductions into technical analysis, options, futures, Forex, as well as a system development course. Of course, we're traders, right? Charting, technical analysis is our best friend, or at least one of our best friends. The better we are at reading patterns, the better we are at setting up entries and setting targets and managing those trades, the whole 9 yards, probably the easier our life is going to be, right? Technical Analysis 101 should really help you on the charting side of things. As a note, over in the shows tab, you'll find the Tackle 100 series live webinars. And in here, you'll find several recorded webinars, including Coach Noah teaching Technical Analysis 101 live to our team. It's been a little while now. Once upon a time, it was live, but that's the beauty of charting. Chart to chart today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, right? Coach Noah does an awesome job here. This is a two-parter. Each one's about 2 hours long, so it's about a 4-hour webinar in total, where he's just teaching the concepts of that Technical Analysis 101 live to our team, right? It's awesome. Coach Noah is a very good teacher. Just don't tell him I told you that. It's very helpful, a great addition to your technical skill set for sure. While we're in here, Coach Matt did a swing trading 101 webinar for us not too terribly long ago as well. This is another really good thing for both technical analysis and kind of the building of the trade, right? Because it's not just, hey, the stock broke out or the stock, is bouncing off the trend line or whatever it might be. That's part of it. And Matt will definitely talk about that in that swing trading 101 webinar, but it's also setting up our stop losses, setting up targets that are, achievable, right? So, because it's easy to pick a target, but it's not quite as easy to pick a target that we can get to necessarily. Different types of patterns. This is another great resource in my mind for chart pattern, for pattern recognition, for trade setup. Very much worth the watch. If you're interested in learning more about the futures market, Coach Grant has a really good introduction into that market in his Futures 101 webinar to maybe make that a little easier for you. Definitely worth checking out if you're interested in the futures market. You will also find several step system webinars in here, right? That's our swing trading system, stop, target, entry, position size. If you want to kind of see what that looks like, these can be great ways to see if that's something you could be interested in. Get some help on developing entry rules and position sizing rules and targeting and all of that fun stuff. There are several in here that you can visit if you would like to do so. I know we took a little detour, but that's okay. I always like to show people that as well. Beyond the technical analysis course, there's an introduction into the options course. This is where we can talk about what's going on when you buy or sell that contract, right? What are the factors that are impacting the price of that contract, right? It's not like stock that $20 is $20, right? So today, tomorrow, no matter what, there's a lot of moving parts with options. How does time decay impact it? How does, price movement impact it? How does volatility impact it? And the more we understand what's going on with that contract, the easier it should be, at least I hope, to get into the different strategies. So we're really going to focus on that side of the options world. I'll show you where we can find our strategies here in just a minute or two. But if you are interested in options, it's the more you understand the contract, I believe the easier everything else is, personally. We also have an introduction into futures or Forex. So again, if either of those markets, I know not everybody likes to trade those markets, and that's fine, but for some people, they feel intimidated by those markets. They don't think they could trade those markets. You absolutely can trade the Forex market or the futures market if that's something that you're interested in doing. There's just some things we have to figure out about those markets, right? But it's not, fundamentally, it's still trading, right? So if you're interested in learning more about either the futures market or the Forex market, great place to start would be the Futures or Forex 101 course. You will also notice the system development course in here. no matter what you're interested in or not interested in, you're interested in trading something, right? And for all of us, whatever we're trading, whatever our markets are, whatever our style is, we have to have clearly defined systems, clearly defined rules, and we get that. I've talked to, I can't even imagine how many traders in my life, and everybody agrees those things are important, but we're also people. And it's easy to say and not necessarily so easy for some of us to do. The system development course should help you think a little bit more like a systems builder when it comes to trading. It's well worth the watch. I cannot recommend it enough, no matter what type of trader you are, to take some time. It doesn't have to be the first thing you do. It might very well be the first thing you do, but make some time to go through that system development course. I personally believe that once we kind of flip on that switch to where we start thinking about trading from a systems perspective, I think we just kind of default there, right? It's kind of, I always say it's a light switch and we just need to flip it on. Definitely worth checking that out. Cannot recommend that one enough. Not everything has to be a course, right? We're going to do blog content regularly as well, more charting over in the Tales of Technician, more on options in the option theory, hearing from our awesome female traders here in the Women in Trading blog, taking concepts from the ground up and building them with Coach Greg over in the Rookie Corner. These are going to be short reads, right? Depending on how fast you read, it's not going to take you a ton of time, 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes, probably depending on you. But just another way to share ideas with our community, another way to teach some concepts. Definitely encourage you to incorporate that into your weekly routine as well. You will also find the Trade Center. In here, you're going to find a few things. You're going to find a link to our events calendar, which we'll probably look at right as we're wrapping up together, so we won't look at him right now. A link to our trading glossary, a link to our trading journals, and a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook. The Tackle Trading Playbook is where you will find all of our strategies, the rules for those strategies, the whole 9 yards. We break our strategies into 3 core areas: Delta, Theta, and Vega, based off of the option Greeks. If you're an option trader, it probably makes sense. If you're not, that's okay. I'll try to explain it really quick. Delta is direction, right? Most of us, I know when I first got into trading, I thought solely as a delta trader. I buy for 47 and I sell for 50, right? So buying stock, that's a delta trade, right? Selling stock short, that's a delta trade. But so is buying call and put options. So is your call ratio spreads. So are debit spreads and diagonal spreads. So different ways to trade that direction, right? So that's going to be the delta side. The theta side, that's our cash flow, right? The cool thing about options is we can sell them, right? And bring in that premium up front and take advantage of the one thing we know for absolute certain, and that's that time's going to go by, right? Tomorrow will pass. I do know that for a fact. That's not my opinion, right? That's 100% true all the time. So that's going to include our covered calls, where we're selling calls against shares that we own. Our naked puts. Hey, I'd love to own this stock at this price. I'll sell a put, get some cash flow, and if it ever gets there, great, I'll buy it. And if it doesn't, well, at least I picked up a couple bucks. Our credit spreads. Think this is going to stay above or below this price threshold, things like that. And then there's the Vega. I always call the Vega the little brother of the options playbook personally. This is our volatility. This is our earnings plays. I expect big movement in a short period of time. A lot of, for me, always earnings is what comes to mind, for these type of strategies. Maybe the market thinks this stock's going to move a ton, but based off of its history, it doesn't really suggest that that's likely. So we want to bet against the market. So these are going to be bidirectional where we're playing into that volatility. In each of these, you probably noticed there's going to be a video, a little play button there. That'll take you to a video taking you thoroughly through that strategy. What is it? Why would we choose it? How would we build it? What does our risk look like? What does our potential return look like? If you're using the Thinkorswim platform, we're also setting up an example so we can help you on the order entry side of it as well. There's also a little downloadable PDF, so you have easy access, a little cheat sheet, if you will, to the rules for that strategy. You'll also notice that everything is somewhere between 0 to +3 or 0 to -3. We want to match the strategy to the situation, right? And so 0 would be flat neutral. Plus or minus 1 would be slightly bullish or bearish. Plus or minus 2 would be, I guess is the way I think about it. I guess you can think about it however you would like, but 2 is moderate. It's, a moderately bullish or moderately bearish at a minus 2. And then 3 would be very, really bullish or really bearish on that, right? So if I expect the market to slowly drift to the upside the rest of the year, or a particular stock within the market to do so, I probably am a +1 or a +2, right? If you think that same stock's going to, increase another 15% before the year is done, you're probably a +2 to a +3, right? So we want to match the strategy to our read of the situation. And this will let you know where we kind of have these different strategies and how we view them in regards to where they fit on that scale. This will keep you plenty busy. That's pretty detailed, pretty awesome to be able to just visit any of those strategies when we're ready to do so. If you click on the actual trade center here, this will kind of bring you to what's up page at Tackle Trading. What's our next show? Some of our recent posts, our most recent report, our most recent tweet, a little watch list. If you would like to have an easy, hey, I'm at Tackle Trading, I don't want to have to log into TOS or whoever I'm doing my broker, using it for my broker. Easy to build this out in here. You would just type your ticker symbol in here. So you wanted to add CHX, just throw that symbol in there. Then I'll just left click it. It'll highlight it blue. I'll hit this little plus button and that will add it to my watch list. It'll be there until I get rid of it. When the time comes that I want to get rid of it, I will just select it, again, left click and hit the minus button, and that will get rid of it. So if you want to have, just a, easy access to a watch list without having to log into your brokerage account, nice little easy way to do that right here in the Trade Center. There's going to be a replay or a live showing of our YouTube webinars right now. This is really weird because I see this one, I'm on it, I see it, and I see on my other device. So it's a lot of me on YouTube right now. So if we're live on YouTube, you'll find, the show here as well. Once the show's over, you'll be able to catch the replays. Typically, it's going to be the halftime report. But of course, right now, we're doing this webinar here. So you can catch them here if you prefer versus YouTube. I would watch them on YouTube, but that's just a me thing, I suppose. Kind of a short upcoming calendar, right? We're going to be a lot more, in detail when we see the, when we go in and look at the calendar. But just what do the next few days look like, right? If you're taking any courses, it'll let you know where you left off, so you can pick right back up. If you left in module 2, 3 minutes in to the, options course, you can pick right back up where you left off, just to kind of keep you organized a little bit. There are also several links over here for various tools. You'll find a link to tradingjustice.com here. Every week, Matt, Mark, and Tim do the Trading Justice podcast. Probably have heard it already, but if you haven't, definitely worth checking out. A lot of fun, very informative. You can catch that on all of the major podcast providers. You can also listen to it over on tradingjustice.com if you're not a podcast person. I've been reading the Dark Crystal book, and I almost said pod person. So I don't know what that says about me. You'll also find a great monthly newsletter over there. Coach Tyler did this month's on portfolio design. Definitely worth incorporating into your monthly routine to read that newsletter. It's always very, very informative. You'll find that over at tradingjustice.com as well. You can just go to tradingjustice.com, but if you just click on this, it'll take you right over there. Definitely worth catching the podcast, definitely worth reading that monthly newsletter in my mind. In the Trade Center itself, if we go into the market Skyline, this will bring us to kind of a one-stop shop for our charts for our indexes, our major commodities, and the sector ETFs. Right, so the S&P futures, the Dow futures, the NASDAQ, the RUT, Bitcoin, right? The major commodities, gold, silver, copper, palladium, natural gas, the sector spider ETFs, which if you're unfamiliar with what these ETFs are, is they go into the S&P 500 and pull out just the stocks in that particular sector, communications, finance, industrials, energy, and pull those stocks within that sector. So just for example, XLF, financial sector ETF, we go into the S&P 500, we pull out just the financial stocks, we put those stocks into a portfolio, and that's what we're looking at right here. So this is a kind of a closer look at that financial side of the S&P 500. These, of course, are ETFs. They are tradable. They are optionable. But even if you don't want to trade them, and some people like to and some people don't, and it's really fine either way, they are very helpful in my mind to stay on top of the different sectors. I've never found an easier way that's in my language, right? I'm a trader. I don't want to read a whole bunch about the energy sector. I want to look at the chart and make my decisions based off of that. So you'll find them in here as well. If you go into the heat maps here, I'm just going to open that one in a new tab here. It'll just bring you to a Finviz heat map for the S&P 500, just a visual of what did they look like. Of course, it's free, so you will have to click some of the ads, but I guess if you're cheap like me, that's a small price to pay. Default set to the S&P 500, but you can look at the world, ETFs. The default set to a one-day performance, but you can look at quarterly or monthly or yearly, certain fundamental ratios, how it performed on earnings dates, a lot of fun things that you can do in there. So you just kind of get that visual, hey, what did the day look like here in the market? Get rid of that here because it's probably only a matter of time till I hear something in my ear. So you'll find a news aggregator that's going to go through some of those big financial sites, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, Market Watch, and just kind of lay those headlines out for us. So instead of having to bounce through a bunch of different financial sites, which definitely is not my thing, we can just kind of browse through the headlines. If something catches my eye, I can click on it and actually read the story that I want to read. So just kind of gets them all in one location. A link to the economic calendar so we know what the economic reports are for today, tomorrow, this week. A link to our reports, which you can also find up here, which we'll talk about here in a couple minutes. A link to our trade journals. If you click on trade journals here in the Trade Center, it will take you directly to the tutorial for our trade journal. Journaling your trades is critical. If you're doing it already, my hat's off to you. If you're not, you're no time like the present, right? Your trading journal will make and save you money if you let it, right? Journaling our trades is very, very important. So we know exactly what's working, what's not, what we need to change, what we don't, right? Every trade we make is data if we let it be. So this video here will just take you through how to use that. If you need a little bit of help, I did. I'm not a spreadsheet guy, so I needed some help because I was using a Word document for my journal for a very long time, and I was very, very resistant to going to a spreadsheet because I was set in my ways. But this is definitely a lot more efficient. Long story short, we just have to tell it what we did and when we did it, right? And it's going to do the rest of the work for us. How long were we in the trade? What does our average winning trade make us? How much does our average losing trade cost us? Winning percentage, or what can our expectations there be? Most importantly, gross profits versus gross losses. So it is really important to journal your trades. You can of course find a link directly here on the drop down of the Trade Center to our trading journals, but you can also catch it here in this Trade Center. You'll find the trade journal, you'll find the theta research journal. That's what we can build our covered calls, our credit spreads, or our other theta trades on. Our portfolio journal to help us keep organized. If you're in here and want to download, just select the one you want and then just scroll down just a little bit and you can download it in here as well. So that's our trading journals, a link to a compounding gains calculator, a link to a chart if you ever need one, a link to our glossary if you're ever looking for something, a link to our search function, which is also this little magnifying glass right here. So just a lot of different tools here in the Trade Center that hopefully can make your daily routine a little bit more efficient. Let's kind of shift gears now into the schedule, right? So that's going to kind of, hopefully get you a better understanding of, kind of that first block, right? Things that you can do on your own. Now we'll kind of transition into, things you can do with others or things that are live, right? So, let's start with the day to day. Every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're going to have our Traders Lounge. I'm going to click on it here. We're going to get together and we're going to answer our team's questions. We'll get together, and if you have a question, maybe you're struggling with a strategy, maybe you've got a trade set up you wouldn't mind getting another pair of eyes on, or lots of pair of eyes on. There's usually lots of us in that lounge each morning. If you're struggling with routine, who knows? what you'll need some help with, but every now and then we all need some help, right? And the Traders Lounge is designed so we can do that for our team. You're always welcome in there. Your questions are always welcome in there. Never feel like your question is too basic or too advanced. We've got a lot of traders here. It's a great strength of tackle trading. It can be a little intimidating if you're a brand new trader and someone's asking about managing their iron condor. Don't be afraid to ask your questions. That's exactly what we're there for. We're going to do that every market morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. That's the one show that we're not going to regularly record. But we are going to record snippets of it that you'll also find in here. Coach Tim at one on portfolio design here last week, customizing intraday indicators, just some recent ones, adjustment for broken wing butterflies, gaps, trading after gaps. So it's not a big deal for us to hit the record button, but let's call it what it is. Nobody's going to go back and listen to the Traders Lounge from April 24th of 2020, right? But if we have something that, hey, this could be useful today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, not a big deal for us to hit that record button and get that snippet in here for our team members. If your schedule is such that you just never can make it to the lounge because you're at work at that time or whatever, but you have a question, email us, team@tackletrading.com. We'll do our best to accommodate you, get a little snippet in, for you and get it over here so we can help you as well. So that's each and every market morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. It'll go for an hour. Then shortly after that at 12:30 Eastern, right here on YouTube, we'll do the Tackle Trading Halftime Report, live looking at the market, where we can kind of talk about, hey, what's going on in the market today? How is it impacting our charts and our technicals? Different areas within the market, storylines that are, on the market's mind today, stocks in the news, where you can really go through that daily routine with our team. That's at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, live here on YouTube. Obviously, being on YouTube, once the stream is over, it'll populate directly over to our channel. You can, of course, catch it at a more convenient time if that is what you need to do as well. So every day that the market's open, we're going to be, going through it with our team, whether it's answering our team's questions over in the lounge or going through the daily routine here on YouTube in the halftime report. We're going to be going through the markets each and every day with our team. Certainly invite you to join us. So that's going to be our day, Monday through Friday, or better said, every market day, right? There are holidays. We're about to get into them. But most of the time, thankfully, as a trader, I like it always to be Monday through Friday, personally. Then we're going to have our evening schedule. Now, our evening schedule, we, generally are going at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. On Monday nights, I do this onboarding webinar where I just take people through tackle trading to make them feel a little bit more comfortable using the platform. I'll be doing it again next week, so you're always welcome to join me if you would need to do so. It won't be a lot different than this one, just so you know, but it is designed so I can help new members of our team navigate a little bit more efficiently. On Tuesday nights, we do at least what I kind of consider our flagship show in the coaches show. A couple of the coaches can get together. We're a couple days into the market at that point in time, so we can do a quick overview of the market skyline. Have things changed from the weekend? What's standing out? What's not? So we can do our market skyline. But it really allows us to take one of the many, many concepts in trading. And boy, there are a lot, right? Whether it's portfolio design, daily routine, trading retracements, playing breakdowns, buying calls, using debit spreads, all sorts of stuff, indicators. I mean, there's a million things that we could talk about, right, as traders. And what the Coaches Show really allows us to do is take one of those many, many concepts and have a good, solid, detailed discussion on it. So we can, so oftentimes someone will ask a question and you get the 5-minute answer, right, or the 2-paragraph answer. We can really dive deep into a wide range of topics. We'll be very focused when we're in there tomorrow or in there, next Tuesday. So we're not going to try to talk about everything at once, of course, but it is a lot of fun and definitely worth incorporating into your routine. Again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, it's live. You can find the information to the show if you click that link or in the events calendar, as I'll show you here in a few. If you can't make it live, we certainly understand. We love to have our team live with us, but schedules are schedules. It will be recorded. It will be archived. You can, of course, catch it at a more convenient time. On Wednesday night, we do two different things. Over here on Tackle Trading at 8:30 Eastern, we meet up with one of the members of our different premium systems in the mastermind group at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. But we also meet up with our team here on YouTube at 7 Eastern for a weekly webinar as well. Last couple of weeks been some setup webinars. Been really cool to watch different coaches, bring some different trade setups. And discuss them with our team. So we'll be doing a YouTube webinar, 7 Eastern on Wednesdays, and then heading over to Tackle Trading for meeting up with one of our mastermind groups at 8:30 Eastern. So that's what our Wednesdays look like. On Thursdays, we get together at 8:30 Eastern for our cash flow club. That's going to be much more much more focused. Good night, Addie. Good to see you, my friend. Have a great evening. Cash flow club is going to really be focused on those cash flow strategies, right? So whereas the coaches show, we have huge potential topics to choose from, right? The cash flow club is going to be much more narrowly focused on those cash flow option strategies, those covered calls, those credit spreads, those naked puts, those condors, right? Those type of strategies, building and managing those strategies. So that's what our game plan is on Thursday nights. If you're a theta trader or a cash flow trader, you're not going to want to miss that one. Just like the coaches show, it will be recorded and archived. So if you can't make it live, you can always go watch watch it at a more convenient time. You can go back and watch previous episodes of it if you would like to as well. So that's what our Thursday is going to look like. Our Friday looks a little different. We'll pause on that for just a minute. Let's talk a little bit about our women in traders, women in trading. I'm obviously not a woman in trading, but I do know our team, and they get together about once a month in their women in trading mastermind group. I don't know exactly what happens there because I don't get to go, but I do know that they're having fun and getting some good work done over there. So if you're a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, or a woman who might be interested in trading, certainly, connect them with the awesome coach Emily and the rest of the awesome women in trading group. I don't know what happens there, but I know that it's good stuff. So that typically is about once a month. Now I'm going to hop over into the Trade Center, into our events calendar here. Kind of use this as a springboard, I suppose. When that time comes, we can see it's set up for the 18th. Women in Trading Mastermind Group, December 18th. So our events calendar will kind of be much more comprehensive than our little, what do the next few days look like, right? When the time comes, I obviously can't do it, but maybe you can click on that Women in Trading Mastermind Group, or whatever the coaches show, or whatever it is that you're looking for, and that will get you the information to get in. So this is where you have a much more detailed, hey, what does the schedule look like? As you can kind of see, we're pretty regimented, right? Mondays are usually Mondays, and Tuesdays are usually Tuesdays. Now we're going to put that to the test over the next couple of weeks, with it being Christmas and New Year's and those falling at the end of the week. So we'll put that to the test. But usually, we obviously, only have to deal with the holidays once a year, right? On Friday afternoons, about an hour before the market closes, Mark will get together in his closing bell live with our team here, where he'll do his commodity report live, but he'll also just kind of bounce ideas around with the team, kind of making those last minute decisions before the market closes down for the week. A lot of fun, good times in there for sure. You'll find that information here in the Mind of a Trader closing bell. He also likes to do a weekend prep class a little bit after the futures market opens up on Sundays, to just kind of, hey, based off the futures open, what's he seeing, what's he looking at. Another great way to spend some time with the team. So those would be the Mind of a Trader that you see in here. The easiest way to get into those is directly here in the events calendar, and just click on the one that you're ready to go to. Probably the easiest way to do that. So hopefully that explains the schedule for you. Kind of the way I put it, I think about it is, the lounge is where we can really focus on you and what you need, whatever that might be. Never hesitate to get in there with your questions. We love to help our team out. Our halftime report is where we can go through that daily routine with the team. each and every day. The market's like a giant soap opera, right? And we got to kind of keep up with it. So we can really focus on the daily routine over in the halftime report. And then the evening shows where we can really focus on the teaching side of things, whether it's managing naked puts as the stock's working its way down, or portfolio design in the coaches show, or wrapping the week up with Mark, or hearing from the women in trading each month. That's really where we can do our teaching over in our evening show. So that's kind of the way I like to think about it, at least. But hopefully that gives you a better understanding of when these things are, what they are, and how you might want to incorporate them into your personal routine. So we will now kind of shift gears into that third area of the tackle trading, at least my third area, and that is going to be our weekend reports. On Fridays, what we're doing here at Tackle Trading is after the market closes, all of us coaches get together, talk markets, talk sectors, commodities, currencies, setups that we're following in what we call our scouting report meeting. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our scouting reports, which entails the Tackle newsletter, stock, option, commodity, and Forex report. We'll get these to our team on Saturday. So you have plenty by Saturday. So you have plenty of time to go through any or all of them before the market opens back up. Let's start with the Tackle newsletter. If you've had a chance to go through the 7-step guide to trading, or if you notice when we were looking at that, the first step is starting at the top of the market, right? And that's exactly what we're doing here in the Tackle newsletter, is starting at the top of the market. So here in the Tackle newsletter, we can talk about, hey, what are the storylines that are moving the market right now? Right? Sometimes they're more subtle than others, right? Sometimes you couldn't miss them if you tried, and everything in between. But the market's always got something on its mind, right? So what are the storylines that are moving the market right now? What are the economic reports that are on schedule for the week that might be worth keeping an eye on? Of course, just like in our other reports, we'll have a video going through this stuff with you. We can kind of talk you through it. Where is the S&P 500? How are we seeing that going into the upcoming week? The ETFs that track the major indexes, if you need them, DIA for the Dow Jones, QQQ for the NASDAQ, IWM for the Russell, SPY for the S&P 500. Coach Gino's Arkham high-low indicator that looks at over 8,000 stocks to kind of see, how many are putting in new highs versus how many are putting in new lows, to help us get an idea of the internals of the marketplace, if we should be looking bulls or bear. The seasonality chart, what historically happens this time of year, right? We don't want to overvalue that, but this looks a lot like this. The market this year looks a lot like this, right? So we'll see if we get that bounce to close the second half of December, but it looks an awful lot like it so far. Again, it's good information to have, right? I'm not going to buy simply because historically the market goes up in October. So I buy in October and sell in December type stuff. But knowing what it historically does absolutely can help impact my decision making. What sectors tend to be the strongest this time of year? Right, from a historical context, materials and healthcare tend to be the strongest sectors in the month of December, whereas technology and staples tend to lag behind a little bit. Doesn't mean they're necessarily bearish, right? It just means that they historically aren't quite as strong as material and healthcare. So, hey, again, do I want to overvalue that information? No, but is it good information to have? Of course it is, right? Our sector rankings. Each week we're going to rank the different sectors based off of what we're seeing, not just on the ETF for that sector, but the components of that sector, and let our team know, hey, what areas, are we liking? What areas are we bearish on or neutral on? What do we like more, than we did last week? What do we might like a little bit less? Again, we can kind of talk you through the thought process there in the video, but we want to let our team know kind of how we're seeing the different sectors within the marketplace each and every week. You may not always agree with our rankings, and that's, I think, fair, but it's always nice to get another perspective, right? We all have blind spots, or at least we all potentially can. So just another way for us to kind of let our team know, hey, these are the sectors that we like, why we're liking them, are we liking them more or less? We do it on a football field, right? So we kind of do that 1, 2, 3, like we did with our our different strategies. But I like to think about it on the football field. If you're a football fan, you probably immediately take to it. If you're not, I understand it's okay. You can do the 1, 2, 3. But we're moving, in one way or the other. We're not the type of community that's going to put the overall market at a +3 or -3. I never will. I might have a +3 on a stock. Oh, I really like this, but I'm never going to be so aggressive on the market. And most of the other coaches are going to kind of fit into that too. So it's very unlikely that you'll see a + or -3 on broad-based markets. Just a heads up there. Another list of the ETFs, if you need them for your watch list. Again, these are just the sector spider ETFs that are in here. They're well worth incorporating into your daily routine. Honestly, I've never found a more efficient, practical way to stay on top of the different sectors personally. Another friendly reminder to match your strategy to the situation, right? If I really like energy versus I kind of like energy, that's going to impact how I approach the energy sector, right? There will be a pre-built scanner in here as well. So if one of these areas caught your attention, if you said, I really like whatever, I really like the healthcare sector, we can just go into this pre-built scan here. This will again take you to a Finviz page. This is a pre-built scan of what I call trader-friendly stocks. And all I mean by that is they have great liquidity. Woo! I knew it was a matter of time until I heard the commercial. I know it was loud with this headset on. But anyway, before I got sidetracked there, these are very liquid stocks. So it's going to be very easy to trade shares of these companies. All of these stocks are optionable. The vast majority of them also have weekly options. So we always have to double check, right? Option liquidity is important. The bid-ask spread is important. We always need to check before we do an option trade. But these things do have option availability. And a lot of times there's going to be plenty of things that you can do on the option side of things, right? And that's what I mean when I say trader friendly. So odds are if I like something that I find in here one way or another, I'm going to be able to build a trade on it. And we can just kind of do a quick scroll side by side, see if anything stands out for us within this space. I look at, TMO, for example. We had that deep pullback. We bounced. We're starting to drift to the downside. Now, could I make a trade off of this? Absolutely not. I wouldn't even try. But it kind of caught my attention. I could see myself being interested in, these guys, maybe if they were to kind of get going. If you click on the chart itself, it'll bring us a little bit of a closer look to the chart, so I can kind of see. Like I said, I know me, right? And then it's important to know yourself as a trader. It pulled back. It came and created a lower high, but right now it's trying to put in a higher low. I could see being interested if this were to break back above that pivot there. Again, could I build a trade off of this? No, not at all. But I can definitely say that I'm interested enough to go take a closer look at it on my actual charting platform. And maybe I'll want to keep it, maybe I won't, right? And maybe you think this is hideous. What are you thinking, Frank? And that's okay too, right? It's about you, about what I'm looking for. And so just an easy way to be able to scan through these different sectors. Just hit back to screener, and that'll just take us right back to the screener there. Just an easy way to do some quick browsing, right? To see if anything catches your attention within that space. So that will be set up for all of the different sectors. So if any catches your eye, definitely easy way to look for some setups. So that's going to be the newsletter. You always want to start there. There's a reason that step one for us, and I 100% buy into this, is start at the top of the market and work down, right? Everything's easier when you're going with the flow. Ask the Bears lately, right? Every now and then I hear them crow. So one day they'll probably get theirs. But so often, going with the flow is just the way to approach it, right? And so that's kind of what we're doing here in this newsletter. Then our stock options commodity and Forex report will focus on the products that their names would suggest. Coach Cody does our Forex report for us. He does an awesome job, not just kind of breaking down the different setups over in the currency market, but he does a lot of teaching over there as well. He does a really, really great job. And if you're even kind of interested in Forex, definitely a good way to learn it. I believe if you watch the Forex report, if you did nothing but spent 20 minutes with Cody each week doing the Forex report, and that's it, didn't open a Forex account, didn't do anything but just listen, I honestly believe that 3-4 months from now, you'd be absolutely shocked how much you know about that market. Even if you don't want to trade currencies, and I don't trade currencies personally, it's just not my thing. It's still important, right? The US dollar is kind of a big deal, right? It's not particularly impressive these days, but it is still very important. So it's very good practice to listen in on the Forex report, even if you are not a Forex trader. But if you are a Forex trader, if you're interested in it, Cody will do a great job of helping you learn how to navigate that market. He really does a great job over there. Coach Mark, as I brought up earlier, does our commodity report where he can focus on not just the technicals, but the fundamentals that are moving these different commodities. He does a great job. He's a big commodity guy. He loves following the stories of oil and gold and copper and all of that fun stuff. Does a great job getting our team ready for that. And again, even if you don't trade the futures market, there are ETFs that will track those products, like GLD, for example, tracks gold. There are stocks that mimic those markets, like FCX really kind of goes with copper, right? So there's a lot of proxies, if you will, that we can use as more equity traders that can kind of take advantage of those situations in the commodities market as well. He does that live with the team in his at the Market Bell webinar on Fridays, but of course it'll be in here as well. The stock and option report we build very similar to one another. Of course, stock report's going to kind of focus on just the stock side of things and purely on the technicals, right? Whereas the option report is going to focus on not only just the technicals, but also strategy selection. As a rule, things in the stock report, if there's something in the stock report that you would like to trade, but you'd like to do an option trade on it, you can always go check the option liquidity and see if it's something you'd be comfortable with. But make sure you're doing that because the reason it might be in the stock report is because none of us coaches would trade options on it. If one of us wouldn't, none of us would. And if I wouldn't trade options on something, I wouldn't think it would be a great idea for anybody to, right? And so, but that's up for you to decide, but you always want to check. So if there is something in the stock report that you prefer to trade an option strategy on, no harm in checking liquidity, see if it's something you'd be comfortable with. And you'll learn how to do that in that Options 101 course if you don't know how to do it. Conversely, if there's something in the options report that you like, but you're just a stock trader or don't want to trade any options right now for whatever reason, you can always trade things in the options report with shares of stock, right? So that's kind of the way to think about that side of things. It'll give us an opportunity to share our watch list with our team. So we'll pop into the options report here. Each week, we're going to put together a bullish and a bearish watch list so we can be ready for the market no matter what it wants to do. We can kind of talk you through in the video kind of, what we're looking for. Again, the option report can talk not just about the technical side of things, but the strategy selection side of things, right? Based off of the price of the stock or the volatility of the options or the read of the situation or whatever the case might be. We'll also use it as an opportunity to teach, right? This week, in the option report, Coach Tyler talked about, kind of the mellow retracements, my kind of retracement versus the deeper, more violent type of retracements. I think most traders, especially directional traders, prefer the mellow ones. So we'll always use it as an opportunity to teach our team as well. So each week we'll have some trade ideas in the options market as well as just individual stock setups. In the stock report, hey, we're choosing stock, right? At least that's kind of the premise that we're coming at it here. If I go in and say, yeah, I'd be comfortable trading the options on this, that's fine if I want to do that, right? That's up to me. But we're really going to focus exclusively on the technicals. So in the video, we can kind of work through that watch list and kind of talk about, hey, this is what we're looking for, for signals from an entry or maybe some stop loss ideas, right? Ultimately, it's up to all of us to build our own trades, but we can definitely share our ideas with the team, and we're more than happy to do so. There are a couple things I always like to show people on this on these built-in watch lists. So I'm going to come to CHX myself. This is something I personally like. There's the trend line tool right here that you can work with. And that will let you draw either horizontal support resistance levels or actual trend lines. Not really applicable, but I guess we can go with it. It's not the worst thing I've ever drawn. I've definitely drawn worse things in my day. So, and you bet you, Damien, have a great night. Glad to have you with us, my friend, and welcome to Tackle Trading. I'll see you real soon in one of the shows. Never hesitate to holler at me if you need anything either, buddy, and have a good night. So have our little trend line tool right in here. If you want to get rid of something, you'll just left click it and then hit that trash bin right there, and that'll get rid of it for you. Your time frame is going to be up here, right? 1 minute, 30 minute, hourly, daily, which is the default. The little drop down there, if you wanted to look at it on a weekly or 30 minute or whatever, you can do that as well. The indicator button is this FX. If you wanted to add something like the ATR, for example, a lot of us here at Tackle Trading use the ATR to help us get in and in and get clear definitions of what's above today's high or type of stuff. If you add an indicator, if you hover your mouse, you can just kind of left click it on that little barrier between the volume and the new indicator. You can scrunch it down so you have a little more chart room if you want to do something like that. Just as a side note, this isn't going to save your indicators. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but just know that if you add 7 different indicators and then leave this page and come back, they're all going to be gone. So just a heads up on that side of things. This widget button right here will just hide the watch list, so we have more chart to work with. If I hit it again, it'll bring back up the watch list. This guy right here is where we can build out our long or short trades. So this would be a breakout trade. And again, we can kind of talk you through why these are here over in in that video, right? I can just hold my left mouse button down and scrunch it and wiggle it so I can see it the way I want to see. If I have in mind, I'd like to put get up in above this high up here, and just kind of not going super into detail on the trade itself, but break resistance would be the signal, right? I might want to put my stop loss below today's low, whereas you might want to put your stop loss below this low, right? So we can kind of build our trades as we see fit. I've got a target in mind of $17. What does that look like, right? And so I can kind of see that I have a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 397. So for every dollar I'm risking, I have a potential profit of 397 if I actually work into that $17 range. So I can kind of see what the risk to reward looks like. If I wanted to say put my stop loss down here below this old pivot way down here, I can see that I'm risking $1 to get $1.05. And I'd love to put my stop loss there. It'd be great to have all that room. I don't like that risk to reward at all. So I probably wouldn't choose to go that route. So it's really going to save us a lot of time where we can kind of build these out and say, hey, this would be my risk to reward based off of where I'd like to get in, where I'd set my stop loss, where I'd have my targets prices set up. So I can't tell you how much time that saved me. I'm not great at math. Let me rephrase that. I'm fine at math, but I'm slow. So definitely something about me. So you can do that for both the long and the short side of things. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that our team has some quality trade setups in the different areas that you may like one area versus another, and that's normal, right? We want to make sure no matter who you are and what you like to trade, we're sharing some quality trade setups with you, talking about our reasoning and what we're seeing behind that. If you don't like them, that's fine, right? If you love it, if you want to add this to your watches, great. If you don't, that's fine. I'm cool either way, right? We always want to be able to share ideas with our team. We want to be able to talk technicals with our team. We want to be able to teach our team a little bit. Coach Greg this week talked about, building out, position sizing rules in large part here in the stock report. So we just want to make sure that our team's always ready for next week. I'm always, looking for setups. I love looking at charts, and I know not everybody has the time to do so. If I find an interesting chart, I'm more than happy to share it with you. And if you don't think it's worth looking at, I won't take it personal. If you do and want to incorporate it to your watch list, great. That's the kind of the way that we like to think about it here. So we will always get these to you by Saturday, so you have time to go through any or all of them before the week kicks back off, just to make sure that you have some trade ideas each and every week. So that's going to be our reports. Just as a side note, a lot of times we'll say, hey, check the scouting reports or something like that. We'll refer to the scouting reports. And when we say that, we really mean the whole group. So, that might mean for you, it might mean the OSHA report. For somebody else, it might mean the commodities report, right? Or it might mean all of the above, but just kind of a note. We say that a lot. So we call it the scouting reports internally. And it is the collection of them, but it can be sometimes confusing to say, well, where's the scouting reports? I found the option report. So that's just a us thing, I think. So a couple of other things as we get ready to wind down. Hopefully that explains those reports for you. Really easy thing to do at the end of the day, if you're struggling with a daily routine, is you're going to go through the report, over the weekend, right? On Saturday or Sunday, you went through the stock report. You kind of looked through the trade setups, which ones you kind of like, which ones you're not interested in, right? And then, hey, it's Monday, right? And, CHX is, one I really like. Did it break out today? No. Could it break out tomorrow? Yes. Will it? I don't know, right? But I can be ready for it, right? Whereas maybe an Alcoa that I was looking kind of at, a high base, we're looking at kind of as a high base breakout going into Friday, that selling today really kind of, hit it hard. I don't have to worry about it breaking out tomorrow. And if it does, I mean, it could, right? I don't know the future, but even if it does, I do know me, I'm not the type of guy that's going to buy it if it runs up from 2176 to above 24 in one day, right? So if I can just kind of work through it, say, is there anything I'd like to do here? Maybe I want to set my order up, if we continue the, break today's high on. Maybe I don't want, I never liked TXN because I, liked ON in the semiconductor space more than Texas Instruments. Maybe that was my thought process, right? Maybe, Devon didn't break out, might tomorrow, right? But maybe I prefer CHX in the energy space. So, we can really just kind of, if you think about it, if we know what we want and why we want it, then it becomes a lot easier to manage our watch list. Just an easy way is kind of roll through and say, hey, is there anything here that's set up in my opinion that I would be comfortable setting a trade going into tomorrow on? If not tomorrow, see ya, right? Maybe CHX breaks out tomorrow. Maybe it never breaks out. Maybe it breaks out on Friday and stops me out on Monday, right? Who knows the future? But it can really help you with your daily routine by identifying, hey, I'm looking for this. If I get this, that's where I'm going to take action. So I hope that it helps you out on the reports and gives you some ideas of how to incorporate them. We do a daily email, our Tackle Today email. You probably get it already, but if you don't, just click on Tackle Today and you can sign up for the email right in here. We have our own clubhouse as kind of our own personal social media where we can, our members of our team can bounce ideas around with one another, can ask questions, get some help if they're struggling, share what's going on. It's just us. It's just traders. It's just trading. I know not everybody's into the social media thing, and that's perfectly understandable to me personally, at least. But our clubhouse is kind of just traders. So if you need some help, you can always get in there and ask for it. I certainly invite and encourage you to join us over in the clubhouse. We are active on all of the different social media platforms, the more traditional ones as well. We do a lot of webinar stuff on YouTube, right? Between the halftime report every day, our Wednesday night webinar, our onboarding webinar when we do it over here. But we also have a lot of other stuff on our YouTube channel, a lot of how-tos, a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of what are's, a whole playlist on Thinkorswim tutorials. I mean, we've got a lot of content over there. Certainly invite you to join us here, hit the subscribe, notification, all the fun YouTube stuff, right? A lot of fun stuff over there, hopefully can help you out. I myself am I'm a Twitter user. You'll see me if you are a Twitter user. You do a lot for the Tackle Trading Twitter. You can also find me personally at FrankMartin23. If you're ever looking for me, that's an easy place to find me. Where we, can share some interesting charts that I run into, the other coaches run into, members of our team bring up to my attention, stocks, movers, upcoming earnings, what's going on here at Tackle Trading. Certainly invite you to join us on Twitter. I'm a little biased because I'm a Twitter guy. So a lot of people don't like Twitter. If you're a Facebook person, a lot of activity over there. Just got a Facebook group going a week or so ago, so encourage you to join us over on Facebook if you're a Facebook user. We're active over on LinkedIn and Instagram as well, so I certainly invite you to join us at any of these social media platforms that you are personally using. If you don't want to use Twitter, that's understandable. But if you do, come join us. I'd be happy to have you over there with me. There's always room for another trader in my life. So let's see. I guess that will do it for this evening. But most importantly, I hope that this helped kind of let you know what's going on here at Tackle Trading and what we're doing and when we're doing it. Like I said at the beginning, you can build your own tackle trading, right? No two traders are necessarily going to use it 100% the same. Most people aren't going to join us in every single show that we do because they have other priorities in life, right? It's okay. We love it if you do. There are some of our team members I see everywhere I go, which is awesome. But I also understand that, we have to sleep and eat and other responsibilities, right? That stuff is reality, whether we like it or not. So build your own tackle trading, right? You might, if you're a brand new trader, you're probably focused more on, things like the 7-step guide to trading, the technical analysis 101, the stock report, where you're kind of getting, into, the real, meat and potatoes, if you will, of trading. Whereas if you're an experienced option trader that focuses primarily on cash flow strategies, you're probably hanging around in the cash flow club pretty regularly. Maybe your schedule is you can hang out in the lounge each and every morning. Build your own tackle trading. A lot of times it feels like everybody but you is doing everything, but that's very rarely the case, right, in life. So it just seems that way. So don't be afraid to have priorities. I call them tethers. And whatever it is you're focused on, keep that tether in mind. And if you start to drift too far away, it's okay to listen to and get new ideas and explore new things, right? Of course it is. But if you start to drift too far away from your focus or your tether, let it pull you back. None of this stuff's going away, right? The market's been here a long time. It'll be here for a long time after us. There's no real rush. We sometimes will feel that there is, right? But it doesn't mean that it's true. That's just the way that we feel. Never hesitate to lean on your team. There's lots of ways you can do it. You can hop into that lounge and ask for help. You can hop into the clubhouse and ask for help. You can send us an email to team@Tackle Trading and ask for help. You can holler at me on Twitter or Tim over in the Facebook group. Never hesitate. If you need something, we all do sometimes. You've got a whole team behind it. It's not just me. It's not just the coaches. It's in our entire awesome community. We're a group of traders that have come together to help each other out. I can't make your trades for you and you can't make your trades for me. But if you have a nice chart set up, I have no doubt that you'd be happy to share it with me. I know I'd be happy to reciprocate there. If you're struggling with something that I can help you with, I'd be more than happy to help you. And I think that goes for every member of our community, all of the coaches, everybody here. We're all on the same side. We all want to see each other succeed in the market. So never hesitate to reach out to your team. There's always a way to do that. I will see you again, whether it's on YouTube on Fridays. I join the halftime report. Sometimes I sneak in other times as well. One of our other shows in the clubhouse, on Twitter. Who knows? Maybe I'll break down and get into the Facebook group too. I'm thinking about it. That's about the only thing that can get me into Facebook. So I'll see it one way or another, though. And like I said, you're always welcome to reach out to any of us here at Tackle Trading, and that certainly goes for me as well. Welcome. It's great to have you with us. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you and seeing you around. It's been my pleasure this evening. I hope that it was helpful in understanding kind of what we're doing here at Tackle Trading and when we're doing it. Have a great rest of the evening. Have a great holiday season. If I don't see you between now and then, it'll be here quickly and it'll be over just as quickly. And I'm not going to complain too much about it. I'm such a routine guy that anything that throws off my routine, like the holidays, I can't wait till it's over. So, but it will be fast enough. So thank you all so much for your time. Welcome to Tackle Trading. It's been my pleasure spending some time with you this evening. And if you have any questions, let us know. Ask in the comments, ask me on Twitter, whatever. And I will see you all in the very, very near future.